Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Scots on the Run podcast, where we take a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening in the Gordon College cross-country and track and field programs. In this episode, we have a lot to catch up on. This is our first episode of the spring semester, so we're going to recap a couple of indoor meets, and also this weekend at BU, we have Jenna Lindsay and Rolen Sanderson, who are going to be joining us in just a moment as well. But first, I'll toss it over to Coach Miela. It's been a while.
It has. Gosh, we got back from Christmas break, and then we jumped right into our first meet there at New Balance, and it was just a whirlwind of stuff. So it's taken us a while to get into a rhythm, but we're getting back.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff to recap here, and I guess maybe we should start with the Chick-fil-A Athlete of the Week. Congratulations. That, I think, was, a 14, 15-year-old school record? I think Marty Maloney in the 800. So congratulations on running a 156 and setting that record.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think as far as that goes, I remember all last year we were just trying to we were hoping Jesse could do it because I think that record was like 2014, something like that. So
2010.
2010. Wow. Did you know it was that old of a record?
No, I didn't know it was.
Did you even know what the record was?
No, not really. I mean, I knew ballpark, it was 158-ish, but I didn't know who had the record or how old it was. So I didn't know who it was till you just said it. So
so be honest, going into that race, what did you think you were capable of, and what did you think was going to happen?
I didn't really have expectations going into the race. I know Coach Luca has been training me pretty well, so it's honestly, I just went out there and tried to compete my best, and hey, I had a great day. Coach Luca trained me for it, so I don't know. It just happened.
Just happened.
It just happened, Coach.
I mean, hey, man, I wish I could just run 156 and just have it happen, you know? Well, what do you think? So what was your PR in high school? 201,
201.
Okay. So what do you think has made the difference in the last, 12 months?
Definitely a shift from sprint training to long distance training has made that impact on my 800 race.
Sure. Well, yeah, because you played soccer in high school.
Yeah.
Right, so your fall was nice. Jenna's saying she did soccer too. No, so your fall was typically, and I remember talking to your parents about this, you'd do soccer, and then when you could, you'd squeeze in cross-country practices.
Yeah.
And so, so we pretty much made that decision that since you were used to that we would kind of keep that consistent, and now we're starting to make the transition to getting you used to running, getting you more prepared for the 4 and stuff. So I know I personally, going into that race, I knew you were fit, I knew you were in good shape, and I figured, you haven't had a lot of true speed work, so it was kind of one of those things he's in better shape, but is he ready to run this race specifically? And I think Luco thought, 158 is definitely possible, 157 would be great. And that was kind of where my mind was at. Anything under 158 would be great. So when you ran 156, I pretty much lost my mind. But take us through the race a little bit. Again, it's 4 laps indoor. I remember beforehand you were looking at the seat times. You're I'm with a bunch of 157 guys, and I don't know. Just take us through lap after lap, where your head was at.
Yeah. Before I got starting into my race, standing on the line, I was just looking at the kids next to me, and I was like, these kids are big. These kids are big. And I was like, I think I can handle it. So honestly, I just had faith and trust in God that He would allow me to do my best on the day, and whatever my best was, I was going to be happy with it. Also, just training from Coach Luke, I was like, I'm ready for this. Yeah. So that was my mind going into the race. And then first lap, actually getting out of the gate, my whole goal was just to get to the front because, strategically the 800 indoor, it's hard to pass once you got your position after the first lap. Right. So I just tried to get out hard. That was my goal. So there was another kid right next to me, and he was also pushing really hard. And I was just trying to get comfortable. So I pushed out hard. He pushed out hard. And I was like, I'll let him have it, and I'll just get comfortable and sit at the moment. So that was basically my first lap, was just get comfortable, get in a good position, hopefully at the front. And then second lap went around. Again, it was just stay comfortable, stay relaxed, just like Coach Luco taught me. Third lap, much the same. And then fourth lap, last lap, it was like, all right, it's time to go. I know the guy up in first was 10 meters, maybe not that far, but he was pretty far out. And my whole goal was just to catch, because I knew I had some left in me to go. So it was just like, all right, it's time to go. And you know what? I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, I think you were just less than a tenth behind that guy. I mean, you basically finished right at the line with him, right? He just barely edged you out. So, yeah, man, splits were 27-49, 29-12, 30 flat, and then 29-59. So, I mean, that's almost how you design a 400, right? So, yeah, it's always nice to go to BU. You got some good competitive heats, and sometimes it's better that way because, you know, the racers, everybody else in the race just kind of takes care of it for you, you know. Anything you're catching in the numbers or anything I'm missing?
Were you talking about the Coast Guard runner? Is that who?
Yeah.
So I have 156.12 and 156.18. So
right. Yeah.
about half a tenth, roughly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to look at these splits and see. Yeah, you finished almost over a second faster than he did.
And I will tell you, I know because I was.
Yeah.
Not that I was never fast enough to challenge the 800 record, but
Sure.
I knew Marty also had the outdoor 800 record was 156. Jacob Smith has since broken that. It's now 155.35. So I think that's certainly well within reach for you when we get to outdoor season as well. If you're already running a 156 in indoor, for sure.
Well, that's the other thing is, so last thing, because I want to get to Jenna here, but I think we're running the 400 in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious how you feel about what your ability is in the 400, and if you end up running the 800, which I know I haven't talked to you about, like what you're feeling like doing at regionals, but what do you think with another race under your belt? What do you think you could do this at the end of this indoor season?
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I've given a lot of thought to this, and I really haven't came to a conclusion on like what I should do for like which event to pick, the 800 or the 400. It's always been like that for me. So I guess we'll have to see after this next race in the 4. My goal is to be around 51, 50. I mean, it'd be great if I was faster, but I just haven't been speed training, so it's hard to think that I'll be just as fast as last year. So,
Sure. Well, good, man. Yeah, and then getting under 155 by the end of the year for outdoor would be a great goal too. Get this school record outdoor would be phenomenal. And then there's Jenna Lindsay, another freshman. You know, so here's I wanted to point this out. You ran the 500 back in December at New Balance, and yes, that heat you were like, I think I remember. Was that the one? I mean, it was an okay heat. You were with a couple other girls, but it strung out pretty quickly, right? So going into this race, your PR was 123.60, right? And then you ended up running 119.93, which is just under half a second off the school record in the 500. So what made the difference this time around versus your first 500? Tell us a little bit about your mindset going into it.
I think that one thing I noticed after my first 500 is I felt like I finished, but I still felt like I had more in the tank, and like I'd run it conservatively, like in a negative way. And so I felt like for this 500 coming up, I really wanted to just like push myself and like, you know, go out hard and just like try to see if I could hold on to it. I think in my mindset too, I was kind of having like, I was kind of trying to like think about that. I know that like, one thing that I've thought about with track and been trying to work on is like, there's this quote that my dad told me it's God made me for a purpose, but he also made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was something I was kind of repeating to myself, like as I was getting ready to go, because it's like, I wanted to enjoy myself as well, you know, and like have the joy of the activity and see the race as an opportunity instead of something to be scared about it going wrong. Instead, you know, be excited about, you know, having the opportunity to run.
Yeah.
And so I just, and I didn't really have any like expectation for a time. I did want to do better than I had the first time, but I didn't really, have a specific thought. But I just wanted to,
Sure.
go for it.
Well, and so you're sharing the track with there's an Olympian who ended up. I think that woman broke the facility record, which at BU is a very
She broke
significant
it by
thing.
like a second.
Yeah, it's a very significant thing to say. There's a girl from Yale, girl from Providence, UMaine, and then there's another girl from Rhode Island College. So for you, you're a freshman, Gordon College, not really well-known school. You're with, again, some more well-known D1s and an Olympian. So what's going through your mind on the start line, right before the race goes off? And I know you're trying to, but did that get in your head at all? How'd you overcome that?
I actually thought running with the Olympian was like the coolest thing ever. I thought that was so neat. Because it's kind of random that I was put in a heat with her.
Yeah.
There was no reason for that to happen, but it did. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like I didn't really feel nervous about that because no one was, I knew what the times were. No one was expecting me to pull out a 109 and challenge the Olympian,
Right.
So I was like, she's going to run her race, I'm going to run mine, and that'll be that. So there was a girl that had a speed that I had wanted to kind of stick with her, so yeah, I just was like, okay, that's my girl. I'm going to try to follow her and kind of pace with her.
Yeah.
And that was how it went.
Nice. Good. Yeah. I know you were joking. You were like, yeah, I think I'm just going to hang on that Olympian shoulder for about 200 and then just take it.
Pass
Yeah,
her
just
in
pass
the
her
end,
at the last three.
Yeah, we were running in the same heat, but I actually never saw her.
Yeah, that would make sense, given that she finished about 11 seconds ahead of it. One thing I want to say about your race too is, I forget the exact numbers we had talked about, but I remember taking your first split through the 2, and I was just like, yeah, I don't even remember if you heard me yell out your times, but I remember that first one you were about a second or 2 faster, and I was like, okay, great. And I could see it from the first 50 meters of the race that you had a different mentality, right? You were just going for it. But when you came through at the 400, I believe you ran, I forget what our, and there's, actually they didn't have 400 splits, they would have a 300 split here, but I clocked your 400 split as basically just as fast, I think it may be faster than your open 400 PR. So you pretty much ran faster in a 400 in that 500, which is exciting for someone, especially someone who wants to run the 400 hurdles and when we get to outdoor here. But so I do want to transition. Anything I'm missing, Ben? You think that did I cover it all?
I think so. Yeah.
Anything you're seeing? Okay. I did want to ask. Okay. So you guys, what? You're freshmen here. I got 2 questions for you. You can tackle them both at the same time or whatever. But how's your experience at Gordon been so far? What stood out, and what made you choose Gordon?
I guess I'll start with the second one. I didn't think I would come to Gordon for a while because I live very close to the school, and so I thought I wouldn't end up going to a school that was within 20 minutes of my home.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think that track is a big reason why I came here. You are very intentional with reaching out to people, and I feel like I really felt like there was a relationship there. So that made a big difference. And then also when I visited at some point, it really felt like there was a community here, very welcoming, very friendly. And so over time, I just kind of was like, wait, this place is pretty cool. So that made me
That's good.
want to be here. And then I've been here for the first semester, and I think that I found that to be true. I mean, being on the track team has been a really big part of my experience, which has been awesome. And yeah, people are very friendly, nice community. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I think that's significant too, that kind of what you saw through the recruiting process and on your visits and such has come to be true. And that's a really good thing to hear, because we certainly try not to sell people. We just try to say hey, this is who we are. We think you'd be a great fit and make it work. But how about you, Rolen?
Very similar to Jenna. I visited Gordon in November of last year, and I really enjoyed the campus. I thought it was really pretty. And then the thing that stuck out to me most were definitely the people, the community here. There's something special here, just about the people. Compared to other schools, I felt like Gordon had like real, genuine people, especially when I talked to them. I remember visiting here and getting to know like some of the track kids, and from the moment I met them, they were just like, these are real guys. Like they'll help me if I need them.
Yeah.
Like they'll be here for me. So that's what stuck out to me, and honestly why I probably chose to come here. And you were another big factor, like Jenna said, of coming here. Just when I got to talk to you, you were like very calm. You were real with me. You were like, one thing I remember of what you said was, I can see you like being on this team. I can visualize it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the moment I was like, okay, this guy wants me.
Yeah.
And I think I could help them out. So I'm like, I want to come here. I want to help them out, and I'm gonna receive a lot. I'm gonna give a lot. So it's just gonna be a nice relationship between us two.
Totally. Well, and you being under Coach Luco, we're talking about people being genuine. I don't know if there's a more genuine guy. Like that guy is who he is.
Yeah.
Every moment of the day, I know, like, and that's what I love about him. I know that he really doesn't. It doesn't feel like he masks any version of himself, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I appreciate that about the Gordon community. I appreciate that about our team. Is that the good, bad, and uncomfortable? We just are who we are, you know. And I think that's what makes it unique, right? So that's really cool. That's really cool, guys. But so Ben, what else we got here?
Well, there's no meet this weekend, right?
That's
We're
right.
Off until the 14th, I think. But I don't know, probably talk about Clash with Tartans.
We got Clash the Tartans. Only other highlights to hit on some meets are 2 weeks ago, Carolyn Day had a stellar mile. I have to give her a shout out because she almost broke the school record in the mile, which would have been fantastic. But so she ran her race reminded me of Jenna and Rolen's races where like we knew that a good performance was like you guys were capable of it, but she kind of just went out and kind of even exceeded her own expectations and ours. Amaris Goodwin broke the school record in the 400. We forgot to mention you were on the school record 4x4, which is the other reason, which we didn't get a chance to talk about that. But yeah, Amaris broke her own school record in the 200. She's now ranked 23rd in the 200 nationally, and then Olivia Garrity is PR'd not at BU, but 2 weeks like right when we got back. She had another significant PR through throwing 15:40 in the weight throw. Which, if you look at our top 5 rankings, the next best performance in Gordon's history is under 10 meters. So it just goes to show you just how good historically she is in comparison to previous Gordon competitors in that event. So yeah, we're off to a solid start, and I think we've got plenty of room to grow as a team. But yeah.
Yeah, well, and thank you for catching that because I forgot you were on that relay team. So you did break a 10-year school record, and you had a 15-year school record. So old records going down.
Yeah.
This weekend at BU. So that's great to see.
Yeah. No, it's good to see for the program that we continue because to this point, we've broken a lot of school records that. We have the school record. Like Rachel, when she breaks her own school record, that's great. But like we have the school record holder on the roster, so it's nice to see some records that have been standing for a bit. Get rewritten. So yeah.
Well, I guess I should bring this up. Of course, I went home over the holidays, and my parents are turning my bedroom into a guest room or office space, and so I'm going through like all the mail that I have still received my Delaware address. Apparently, when I donated to Clash last year, I forgot to update my address, so I got a thank you card in the mail to my Delaware address.
Nice, dude.
Says Gordon Athletics XCTF. It was, I think, sent out March 28th of 2024, so it's been sitting in my room for 9 months.
Yeah.
So I open it up, and it says, Mr. Schneider, my name is Luke O'Halloran. And I run the 1,500 meter for the Gordon track and field team.
That's
I wanted
funny.
to thank you for your support for our team. Because of your generosity, we reached our goal of $20,000. We will be able to purchase new recovery equipment. Also, we plan to travel down south next year, which I guess as of now is next month.
Yes, it is.
We could not have done this without you. Thank you, signed Luke O'Halloran. So, Luke, if you're listening to this, thank you. I apologize that it took me 9 months to receive your letter, but I appreciate that nonetheless.
Oh, Luke is definitely listening to this, so I'm sure he'll get back to you immediately.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, he already knows because I texted him as soon as I opened it. I said,
That's
like,
funny.
hey, I
Well,
guess
I'm
I forgot to update my address, but this is why I'm
and I'm
just
sure you'll
doing this
give
now.
I'm sure you'll give again this year.
Yeah,
Right, Ben?
Of course.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Clash of Tartans is coming this Thursday, which is at the time that we are recording this. That is tomorrow. I know you typically do a good job of turning this around, in 24 hours or so, but it is our main fundraiser for the program every year. A lot of the things, the experience that, again, Rolen and Jenna have had so far, I mean, all the money goes right back into the program. This year, our big thing is going down to Myrtle Beach for our spring break trip. It's not only going to allow us to hopefully compete in warmer weather, but have a few days of training in warmer weather on top of just, a good team bonding experience as well, right? So that's kind of like one of the bigger things we are hoping for, but obviously we can't just put all of our funds into a spring break trip. There are other needs the program has. Again, the recovery equipment's great. We're trying to build a new javelin runway, upgrade our thrower circle, things like that. So always something, but yeah, I mean, this is like immensely helpful every year, and everything goes right back into the program.
So if people are listening to this, they want to donate to the program, how can they go
Yeah,
about it?
I mean, the easiest way is just to Google Clash of the Tartans 2025. If you do Clash of the Titans, you will probably find a Wikipedia link on a movie called Clash of the Titans. But Clash of the Tartans 2025, you can find kind of Gordon's homepage, and then obviously specifically go to the track and field portion to give to the track and field program, track and field cross country. So yeah, the programs are combined, men and women, cross country, track and field. So yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else, Jenna? Rolen, you don't have anything?
Nothing, Coach.
Nothing.
All right. Well, we will sign off this episode then. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Awesome.